That just happened in my mind. Did you think that maybe I'd forgotten my words? We're a bit uncomfortable. Did you decide to think that? Or did it just happen? There is so much happening in our minds. For years, I had no idea how much I couldn't see. My first career was as an elementary music teacher. Some days, I liked it. Most days, I was really tired. But that's how jobs are, right? I grew up playing school. I taught solo lessons, and people would tell me, "You're great with kids." So I became a teacher. It felt like what I was supposed to do. Then one day, someone asked me, "Why did you become a teacher?" And I had no answer. I remember trying to figure out something to say, and then I just gave up. And I said, "I like kids." It was an old story. I'd repeated it so many times before, but this time I could barely get it out of my mouth. I was suddenly so aware of how disconnected I felt to myself. I was going through the motions with almost no awareness of it. I was half asleep. I wasn't asleep, but I wasn't really awake either. A half asleep life is like that. You're moving through life, but you'll find yourself saying and doing things almost automatically. It happens every time someone asks you, "How are you?" And you find yourself replying, "I'm good, how are you?" before you've even thought of the question. I was an elementary music teacher for 12 years before I finally started to notice what was going on. I fell asleep to myself and to what I actually wanted. So I quit my job. Now I work with leaders and teams to discover the same thing that I did, that there's life beyond our patterns and a way to wake up. So here's what I've noticed. Waking up isn't as simple as just deciding to. Think about getting out of bed in the morning. Some days, it feels a lot easier not to. It's really uncomfortable. Moving feels like a lot of effort. A half-asleep life works the same way. The reason most of us stay half asleep is simple. It's comfortable, and anything else would feel like a lot of effort. Our lives are already in motion. We've got roles and responsibilities. We have expectations of ourselves, of the people around us. Every decision we make leads to another one, and another one, and another one, and another one, and we just keep coming. Life is kind of on autopilot. Have you ever gotten to the end of your day and can't remember what happened? A half-asleep life is filled with experiences, but they're never quite what we hope they'll be. When we're half asleep, we do things because we're supposed to. We become people pleasers. We over-explain ourselves, and we're in this constant state of waiting, hoping that maybe tomorrow it'll be better. But instead, we're often disappointed. And really, it's not that we forget what happens in our life. It just doesn't really impact us the way we thought it would. The highs aren't that high. The lows aren't that low. Because we aren't fully asleep or fully awake. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There is always more going on under the surface. I wonder what's going on in your minds right now. How are you feeling? What thoughts are you tuning into? How did they get there? Who did you bring with you today? Why? If I went a bit deeper, I'd probably ask you about your friends and family. What were the dynamics like when you were growing up? Have you had any dreams lately? What do you think about God? We could go on and on. Our mind is an iceberg containing all of our patterns of behavior, our biases, our social conditioning, any and all of the life experiences that left their mark on us. There is a stream of thought, emotion, sensation that's constantly gathering certain data and affecting every moment of our lives. And the interesting and kind of scary part is, it's happening whether we notice it or not. No wonder it feels easier to stay half asleep. But waking up isn't about suddenly settling everything. It's about starting to notice what you've been missing. It's about starting to realize that in every moment there are so many things for us to see, and that we've grown incredibly used to our version of what's important to see. This is at a level of noticing, and this is waking up. So how do we see what we've been missing? How do we wake up? The answer is I'm going to try to reach you, but it's hiding in moments you've been trying to avoid. Think about the last time you were uncomfortable. What was it about? And what did you do about it? I have a funny worry of tuning out moments that make us feel uncomfortable. We've figured out ways how to fix, dodge, maybe experiment away. Some people manage their discomfort by trying to do everything perfectly. Other people fix their discomfort by fixing everybody else's discomfort. Most of us just keep ourselves super busy, hoping that maybe they'll never have to face it. Sometimes our discomfort turns into a story. I thrive under pressure. Or, I don't dwell in the past. Is that true? Or does it just make an uncomfortable moment a bit more comfortable for you? Everybody has something in their life that makes them feel uncomfortable. And whether we realize it or not, we've carefully created our daily habits and routines to avoid feeling it. But that uncomfortable moment that you've been avoiding, it comes from the contents of the iceberg. They haven't gone anywhere. When you're uncomfortable, your mind is waving its hands and begging you to pay attention. Your inner world is trying to wake you up and point out something that you haven't noticed before. The moment that I decided to quit my teaching job happened in a moment of discomfort. I could have returned to an old story and told myself, next year, it'll be different. I had done it hundreds of times before. But instead, I sat with discomfort And I stayed long enough for it to show me something that I hadn't noticed before. I suddenly saw below the surface. I suddenly saw all of the hours that I'd spent trying to convince myself I liked my job, were being more and more trapped. It wasn't just a job. It was a whole life I'd created around where I thought I was supposed to play. I was trying to keep myself comfortable. At that point, the answer was easy. I had to quit my job. It came to my mind as though it had always been there, because it was. I had just trained myself not to see it. I am so happy that I quit my job, because I didn't just quit a job. I woke up. A life that's awake is happy. It's a life that feels alive and free, because a life that's awake welcomes all of those layers that make up who we are. So the next time that you are uncomfortable, I want you to do 3 things. First, notice it. Watch yourself be uncomfortable. And then stay a bit longer. Don't fix it. Don't explain it. Don't push through it. Just be uncomfortable. And then ask yourself, is there something I'm not noticing? The best and worst decisions are possible in that moment of discomfort. You could return to an old story and tell yourself, next year it'll be different. Or I could wake up. You could open your mind to the possibility that a really important part of you is trying to get your attention. You've been trying to wake yourself up for years. The discomfort came from you. Discomfort is your invitation, and it's time to wake up. Thank you.